Stay tuned for Airgun Detectives.
Welcome to another episode of Airgun Detectives. I'm your host, JC, and today we get to take the mystery out of the Barra 400e. Yes, the Barra 400e. This is the world's first and only production full auto .177 caliber BB gun, and this is powered exclusively by electricity. Yeah, this is something definitely different and pretty exciting, that's for sure. Before we get started on this, do me a favor though, hit that subscribe button down in the corner. It doesn't cost you anything, it's absolutely free, but it really helps support the channel. In addition to that, check out my website at www.airgundetectives.com. On that site, I've got various hats, t-shirts, my Generation 2 bipod, I even have some compact scopes, and I also do sell some of my personal inventory on there as well. And just so you guys know, all that money that I make, and it's not much, believe me, it's peanuts. But anything that I profit, it actually goes back into Airgun Detectives so I can buy either new products or other things that I can bring out for you guys so we can review that. That's the only thing it does. This is remember I told you guys in the beginning, this is a hobby for me. It just keeps the hobby going, that's all it does. Anyway, let's get back to the gun on hand, this Barra 400e. Whoa, this is one exciting rifle, that's for sure, because yes, this is powered by electricity. It's powered by one of those lithium polymer batteries, they call it the LiPo battery. This is a 3-cell battery that powers this, 11.1 volt, and they're pretty common. They're in the RC cars, some of the drones, and actually some of the airsoft. So the actual battery on this actually goes right in the stock here. Let me pop this off for you and I can show you real quick. Anyway, so the battery goes right in here in the bottom. It just plugs right in, which is pretty cool. So no CO2 in this one, all battery powered. With that battery, you actually get 1,000 shots per charge. So you're getting 1,000 shots. That's a lot, especially when you're going through full auto. You know, the more rounds you get, the better. So that's basically one of these containers of BBs before you have to recharge it. You're going to go through this entire container of BBs, 1,000 rounds. And this produces velocity between 380 to 410 feet per second. So unlike CO2s, when you shoot the CO2s, they have that cool down period. And so you have a drop in velocity once you get towards the end, especially with the fully auto ones. So this has both semi-automatic and fully auto. It's got a selector switch, which is we've got it on both sides, so it's ambidextrous. You got an ambidextrous switch. It's on this side, and then obviously on this side as well. So the gun itself it's full metal. The whole gun is metal, with the exception, obviously, the grip and then the adjustable buttstock here. That's the only polymer on it. And then I guess the sights. So you've got some pop-up. You got some pop-up peep sights, and then you have some fiber optic fixed sights. The fiber optic fixed sights are not adjustable. The peep sights are adjustable, however. Comes with a 50-round magazine, so it's a metal magazine, 50 rounds. And what's really cool about this, let me move this out of the way real quick. What's really cool is it actually holds 50 rounds, and then they give you the speed loader, and you basically just put this speed loader right on the top like this, and you just push it down, and it loads your magazine, and you get 50 rounds in there. So I'm sure these will become more available as time comes. You'll be able to get spare magazines. Oh, this has the M-LOK rails as well, so you can accessorize this however you want. It's got the spots for the M-LOKs all around it. This has a 16-inch barrel. 16-inch barrel. The overall length of the gun is 32 inches, and it weighs, with the battery in it, about 6.5 pounds, right in that area, 6.5 pounds. So weather's not going to be an issue for shooting this one. As we know, that's why I called last year, I said CO2 summer, because summer is always the best time to shoot CO2s because they perform better in warmer weather. This gun, you don't have to worry about it. Whether it's shot 1 or 1,000, it's going to shoot the same velocity. It doesn't matter if it's in fully auto or semi-automatic. That's the advantage. So weather is not going to be an issue with this rifle. But I'm really curious to see how this is going to perform. I really am, because like I said, this is the first ever. In fact, the patent's pending on this. Barra has a patent pending on this system. So basically, it's a electronic motor that powers a spring piston that pushes the BB. So yeah, I bet you're as curious as I am. Let's get out there and test this thing, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. So stay tuned for the next segment. Let's test our Barra 400e over the Croning. We'll shoot 5 shots. We'll average it out. This is supposed to shoot somewhere between 380 feet per second and up to about 400. And we're going to go ahead and shoot these zinc Barra actual BBs. These are their Cowboy Shot Steel BBs. These are 5.1 grain. So let's just shoot 5 shots over the Crony. We'll see how we make out. So shot number 1, 385. Shot number 2, 384. Shot number 3, 381. Shot number 4, 384. And one more, 390. Exactly what they said, somewhere between 380 and 400. So, and it's so quiet. I have that DB reader, but this thing is so quiet. You could shoot it in your backyard at midnight. No one would hear you. So, all right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, now it's time to test our Barra 400e for some accuracy. We're going to be shooting the same Barra 5.1 grain zinc BBs as we did in the chrono test. And we want to see how well this groups. We're going to be using our 8-inch splatterburst targets. We love the impact point on these. But I'll leave a link down below for you if you like these, because they really are easy to see exactly where you're making contact with the target, that's for sure. But magazine holds 50 rounds. We're just going to shoot, we'll just shoot as much as we feel like it. We're going to see how much it groups. But what I think we'll do is, after we go for the accuracy in semi-automatic, then we're going to test it in fully auto and see how well it groups in fully auto, because that's usually a pretty good test. So why don't you go ahead and take a look at how far we're shooting from it. It's our usual 32 feet. And let's go ahead and see how well this groups. All right. Got my little scope on here, my compact scope, because I want to be as most accurate. If you guys are interested in these, I got them on the website, and they're really cheap. Really inexpensive. All right, let's see how well this goes. All right, that's 10 shots. That's pretty doggone good. Smooth bore BB gun, shooting close to 400 feet per second, not too shabby. Let's try taking a look at it on full auto. All right, this one we're just gonna go full auto. I'm gonna aim the same spot. We'll just pull the trigger until it's empty. That should give us 50 rounds. All right. Pretty awesome, I have to say. You know what that reminds me of? When you guys were a kid and you ever went to a fair, and they used to have those little machine guns, and the goal was to take all the red out of a star that was on a cardboard, and you had to shoot it all out, you could win a prize. That's basically what just happened right there. This is really cool. A lot of fun, that's for sure. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's test our 400e as far as pull weight goes on the trigger. This is like an electronic trigger on this, so I imagine it's going to be pretty good, but we'll check it out. We got our trusty Lyman trigger gauge here. Let's go ahead and reset that. Looks like we're ready to go here. All right. Get my hand out of the way here. £2 pounds, 2 ounces. 2 pounds, 2 ounces. Yeah, nice trigger. All right, let's move on to the next segment. My favorite portion. Let's do a little plinking. We're our same distance, our 32 feet back. Go ahead and take a quick look. See, I got a bunch of little items set up there, little shotgun shells, everything. Let's just see how fast we can knock them down. And we'll go from there. All right, so we should have a full magazine. Let's work our way bottom shelf, and then we'll work our way up. Let's just go, we'll go right to left. Alrighty. And the top shelf. Uh-oh, a little mess there. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Okay, stay tuned for the next segment. Do you guys really think I would leave you without a full auto blinking session? Come on now, you should know me better than that. Hey, if you have a full auto, we got to test it on some glass bottles and let's see how well that does. Okay, so we got a full magazine. We're on full auto. I'm going to shoot those 3 glass bottles. The one in the middle, that was a really good single malt, just by the way. All right, let's just let's see how this does. All right. Wow. I'm impressed. You know the coolest thing about this? I don't have to worry about replacing CO2s. This thing will shoot 1,000 rounds on one charge, which is great. So all you're doing is just filling your magazine with 50 BBs each time. And then you can probably get some other magazines here eventually. So that'll be really cool. All right, let's move on to the final segment and wrap this up. Okay, let's wrap this up with our conclusion. Wow, I'm impressed. I gotta tell you guys, this is fun, fun, fun. Okay, I got a lot of information to share with you. Anyway, let's talk about the negatives. The negative, initially my negative on this rifle was, oh, a battery's not included with it. And then I started thinking about it. And I said, so, I'm sure you guys have bought a lot of CO2 pistols and rifles and things like that. Does the CO2 come with those rifles? Or pistols? Nope, doesn't. How about PCP rifles? You bought those. Does your air source come with those? No. So if you kind of look at it that way, it's not so much of a negative. It just caught me off guard just a little bit. But then I started researching. These batteries that are used in here, they're really common batteries. And so are the chargers. I mean, they use them in these RCA cars, drones, and some of the airsoft stuff as well. So it actually kind of turned out to be more of a positive, because then I started doing the research and I found out that what you would pay for 40 CO2s. So let's just compare, let's say the DPMS, because I've had the DPMS. Takes 2 CO2s in the magazine, 25 round magazine, right? So if you bought 40 CO2s in a DPMS rifle, you would average about 2,000 shots for all 40 CO2s. And 2,000 shots goes pretty quick when you're talking about fully auto BB rifles. So then you look at the 400e. For the same price that you would pay for 40 CO2s, you can get a battery and a charger. Here's the difference. You can recharge that battery a minimum of 200 cycles. If you take care of the battery, in other words, you don't let it discharge too far, and you maintain it that way and you charge it when you're supposed to charge it, you could get 300 to 500 cycles. So you know what that means? You get 1,000 rounds per charge. So do the simple math. 200 cycles, that's 200,000 rounds you can get through in a single battery, okay? And if you take care of it, it goes up from there. You're talking 300 to 500,000 rounds. That's just out of one battery. So the same price that it would cost you in 40 CO2s, you can get a battery and a charger. And I researched online. There's quite a few of these chargers and the batteries. They're very common. I mean, I looked at 2 of these on Amazon. You can get 2 of the batteries. One of them's in the rifle, and I'll show you that. But looks like this. It's their 2200 25C rechargeable. It's like 11.1 volt. But anyway, you can get 2 of these for 30 bucks to the door, and the charger's around 10, 12 bucks. I'll leave links for you guys down below just in case, that way there's no issue. But they're abundant. You don't just have to go to a battery shop. You get them right off of Amazon or any of those, eBay, any of that stuff, because I didn't realize how common these are. So anyway, so my negative kind of turned into a positive, actually, the more research that I was doing. So when you think about that, whoa, that is very cost effective. So as I said, batteries are everywhere. So let's talk about more positives. Okay, we're talking 1,000 rounds per charge. But here's what we're not thinking about. There's no cooling off with these 1,000 rounds. So all shots are going to be at the same velocity. You're right around 400 feet per second velocity. So you guys have done the CO2s where you go full auto. by the time, even a 25 round magazine, by the time you're going full auto towards the end of those rounds, they're just kind of spitting out. They're just kind of spitting out. So you're not getting the same velocities. In fact, your velocity towards the end of that 25 round of full auto, you're probably getting half the velocity at the end. This same velocity, doesn't matter if you shoot 1 shot or 1,000 shots, you're going to get the same velocity every time. Doesn't matter if it's semi-automatic, full auto, as fast as you shoot it, you're still going to get the same. So that is a huge positive. And then, not to mention, because you're getting that steady velocity, that means you're going to get better accuracy. And oh my God, did we prove it. This was probably the most accurate smoothbore BB rifle I have ever shot. And without a doubt, in full auto, nothing comes close to that. You saw those groups we got. We had a 50 round group at roughly 3/4 of an inch. I mean, that's unbelievable. But that has to do with each round is coming out at the same velocity. So you have a standard low deviation. I like these 50 round magazines. They're all metal. And I don't know if I showed you this, but this does have, oh, by the way, you want to keep this little, you want to push this down. Hold on, let me show you if I can show you here with one hand. Okay, see how this sticks up? Your little BB, that's your little BB probe that pushes the BB. Make sure you close that so it's closed if you're going to put the magazine empty. Don't have it because you don't have it sticking out because you don't want to break that off, but you want it closed. But anyway, this has an ambidextrous release, if you can see here. So you can either push this in and take the magazine out on this side, right? Or you've got your typical release on this side that you push with your finger and bring it out. So it's got an ambidextrous release, which is really cool on both sides. It also does have a charging handle, but it appears to be just kind of more for effect. But the, see, that pops out. But the gun's all metal. I'm telling you, it's all metal. It's a heavy duty. You see, I did put one of my rec scopes on there. These are those compact scopes. If you guys are interested, just check them out on my website. They're very, very affordable. I got a great deal on them, and I'm just passing that on to you. You know what else I noticed on this? Not to keep plugging my own items, but I'm going to. This has the M-locks. So all I would need is some M-lock nuts, and I could put some rails right here on the side, and this would work my bipods. These would go right here, right here. My new bipods would go right here on the side of this thing, which is nice because these give you the proper height where you could leave your magazine in the gun and it could still set on the bipods, which is kind of cool. But anyway, I was just thinking about that. But anyway, as I said, I'll leave you a link for the charger. I'll leave you a link for the batteries, the whole bit. So another big bonus on this is it's very quiet. It's totally backyard friendly. I mean, it really is. Doesn't need to be suppressed. It's quiet. You shoot this in your backyard all day long. And that's exactly what this is designed for, backyard plinking. But you saw how much fun it was, and it has sufficient power for, I would put this in the same power level as the DPMS. However, this one, your velocity is not going to drop off. The velocity drops off in the DPMS just because it's a CO2, and when it cools, the velocity drops. So this, honestly, is one of the coolest full automatic BB rifles I have ever had the opportunity to shoot. It really is. It definitely did a number on our glass bottles, didn't it? So how would I rate this? Well, first of all, the cool factor, it's off the chart, without a doubt. It's absolutely off the chart on the cool factor. Other than that, the accuracy is like the best. We just covered that. This is like the best I've seen in a smoothbore BB rifle. So the uniqueness in the fact that this doesn't take CO2s or any type of outside air source, just simply a battery that you can recharge more times than you can count, that's for sure. You gotta love it. It's a 5-star gun. And if you like BB guns, this is something that needs to go into your collection because it's changed the whole dynamics of it. It really has. It was so much fun going through shooting the multiple rounds without having to worry about reloading CO2s. Oh, where are the CO2s? Let's go get them. I gotta make sure I put a dab of oil on the tip of them before I put them together. This was nice, not having to mess with that. They also tell you if you store this, don't leave the battery plugged in when you're storing it. Just simply pop the cover off and unhook the battery. All right, I think we pretty much covered this. And like I said, I was pretty excited, and this did not let me down. This did not disappoint whatsoever, and it's not going to disappoint you either. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Airgun Detectives. Don't forget, this is where we take the mystery out of the airgun. I hope you and your families are staying healthy and you're getting plenty of shooting in. So until next time, take care and God bless.